Hi, and welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about how not to get into another bad relationship. How to not get into a bad relationship. First of all, don't rush into one. I think that most of us these days have such a desire to have our needs met that we end up rushing into relationships one after another, and we haven't even worked on ourselves or healed ourselves from past relationships or past traumas in our life, and we're not coming to a relationship as a whole person. And what I mean by that is that we're not able to make ourselves happy, and we're looking at other people to make us happy, or other people to fill that void for us. We really should take some time, do that work to make sure that we fix the part of ourselves that needs certain things from people, learn to be happy ourselves. That way, when we come into a relationship, that other person is complimenting us and not filling needs that we haven't figured out how to fill for ourselves. The second thing you need to know is that you do deserve a great relationship. Just because of maybe how you were raised or prior relationships before now and how you were treated doesn't mean that you're not worthy of a great, healthy relationship. My biggest piece of advice is heed the red flags. Now, sometimes men will show us their red flags from the first date or two. Sometimes it's a couple of weeks or even a couple of months into a relationship. If you start seeing red flags, don't rationalize them away as, oh, they had a bad day, or, well, they're normally such a great person. The thing is the red flags can lead definitely to other behaviors down the line that you're not going to want to tolerate. Is this person being consistent? Do they do the things they say they're going to do? Do they consistently show up and put the effort into the relationship just like you're doing? Or are they inconsistent? You really shouldn't waste your time with people that aren't going to be consistent with you. Anyone that's not going to take their time to get to know you is definitely a red flag. Now, sometimes you'll have the opposite, where they're not rushing into the relationship, but they're really not trying to move the relationship along. Maybe they're hot and cold. You may hear from them one week and maybe days or weeks go by before they contact you again. They seem to not really, have both feet in and committed to trying to get to know you. That would be another red flag. To me, that would mean they're entertaining other people and are not really sure about you. If they're not sure about you right from the beginning, then do you want to have a relationship with somebody like that? Another red flag to me would be that they just got out of a serious relationship. Why are they jumping into another relationship so soon? Is it just that you're there to fill up space until they find that next great person? Or are they just not able to really be by themselves and they're codependent and that they're needing you to fill that void for them? They really need to take some time after relationships to deal with what happened before they move on to the next relationship. I find today, especially on the online dating world, that most of the profiles out there, if they're not scammers or fake profiles, they're just people just jumping from one relationship to the other, and that never ends very well. Now, if they also don't want to talk on the phone to you, they're always doing everything by text, that to me signals there's something that they're hiding. Either they don't want to talk to me on the phone so I really get to know who they are, or they're not really that invested and want to take the time to have an actual phone conversation. How easy is it these days just to shoot a simple text? You could be doing something else. Heck, you could be on a date with someone else while you're texting. You just don't know what's going on when someone's just texting, and it's very low value. To me, sure, you start out as texting. That's the way, the world is these days, but at some point you need to graduate to having some conversations on the phone. Get to know them. There's a lot that you can hide by text that you can't hide by talking on the phone. If they don't want to talk to you on the phone, that's definitely a red flag. Do they not want to make plans with you, meaning like plans in advance, or do they just call you last minute? If they're calling you last minute, chances are you weren't their first choice. They had other people they were more interested in seeing, and maybe those plans didn't work out, so now they're just going through their phone of people that they're talking to try to fill that void. Hey, I'm going to, hit you up. Doing anything? Let's go to the movies or let's go out. If they can't make plans several days or a week ahead of time, that just goes to show you that they don't value you and they're not that serious in you. Don't entertain that. Another flag would be if they're not interested in the hobbies and things that you've got going on, they don't want to come and tag along from time to time, or they don't want you tagging along in their interest or hobbies. What are they hiding? Just like if they don't talk about you on social media or don't want you to post pictures of you guys together. That's definitely a red flag because they're definitely hiding you because they don't want people to know. The other thing would be that they don't want to introduce you to their friends and family, or they're not interested when you want them to meet your friends and family. That's definitely a huge red flag. If they're really interested in you, they're going to want to be a part of your world and a part of your life. They're going to want to see the other people in your life that are important to you. So if they don't, definitely a red flag. Another red flag to me would be if you ask them, well, what are you looking for in a relationship? And they say they don't know. They don't know? I don't think it's not that they don't know. I think that they know that you're not the one for them, but they're just biding their time with you and they don't want to tell you that. If they can't tell you what it is that they're looking for, what kind of relationship would mean the most to them, definitely a red flag. Just pass. Just pass. Now, if they're having you do all the driving, they don't want to meet at least halfway or come pick you up or come meet you where you live, that right there is just screaming loud and clear that they don't value you. You're just kind of like a side piece to them or someone that they're just spending time with until they find somebody else. They're definitely not serious. So heed that red flag. The last thing I'm going to say is pay attention to your boundaries. First off, have boundaries. But if they're going to not respect your boundaries, that is definitely not somebody you want to be getting into a serious relationship with. I hope these things have helped. These are things that I have seen time and time again. They're things that I've seen my friends go through, family members go through. The dating world today is really tough. It's not the way it used to be. And I think that we need to do a little kind of self-study first to figure out what we want. Make sure that we've healed our own baggage so that when we go forward, we have our goals and what we're looking for, and we're not going to settle for anything less.